Let's bring in Karl Rove, former White House Deputy Chief of Staff for President George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor. Karl, great to see you. I want to play a James Carville soundbite, but first I want your take. I want to know if you think there's any political strategy. You can see the president, they're already kind of making some fun of this, and they're devising a strategy. Is there a political strategy for him to kind of put this memory thing aside?
Look, I don't think so. Take a look at this. Is the ABC Ipsos poll. 86% of Americans say Biden is too old. That includes 73% of Democrats. These are people who ought to be his natural following. And that's up 12 months since the last time that they surveyed this question, which was September. 62% say Trump is too old. Only 35% of Republicans feel that way. But it's up 13 points since last September as well. And 59 say both are too old. Now, if this was just one poll, we might be able to say that this is sort of an outlier. But this is a week after the NBC News poll in which it said, do you have major concerns or moderate concerns about Joe Biden not having the necessary mental and physical health to be president? 76% say that about Joe Biden. 48% say that about Donald Trump. These things are deeply embedded in the views of the American people, and they're not going to be easily erased by having the president go out and make jokes about his age.
Yeah, except now there's a report that has kind of concluded that President Biden's memory is somewhat diminished. Here's James Carville, what he said, and I'll get your final thoughts.
Well, when you don't accept the Super Bowl interview, you're, I don't know, polling averages, you're 3 points down in a two-way. It's the biggest television audience, not even close, and you get a chance to do a 20, 25-minute interview on that day, and you don't do it. That's a kind of sign that the staff or yourself doesn't have much confidence in you. There's no other way to read this. And he's not going to do debates. He is old.
And if your staff doesn't have confidence in you, Karl, how's the country going to have confidence in you?
Exactly. It was not only failing to do the Super Bowl interview, his last interview with a member of the press was October. His last news conference was at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in November, and he took 4 questions. So, look, the president has clearly got problems articulating his policy. Have we heard him speak about Ukraine publicly recently? Have we heard him give a national address on the attack on Israel on October 7th? No. The kinds of things that presidents need to do in order to lead the country, he's failing to do, and I think it's because, as James said, staff doesn't have confidence in him.
Very quickly, Kamala Harris talked about the memory thing, and she says that she's ready to go. She's primed and she is ready to go, Karl. What do you think?
I think that's one of the reasons why people have some second doubts about even whatever doubts they've got about Joe Biden. They have doubts about voting for Donald Trump or not voting for Biden because they're afraid that Kamala Harris might become president. I mean, that she's got worse numbers than he does.
Yeah. Karl Rove, good to see you as always. Thank you, sir.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.